Cobweb. Directed by Samuel Bodin. Don't know much about this guy. His IMDb picture looks like he's about 14 years old. But he hasn't done much work. Chris Thomas Devlin wrote the story. His other only credit is the wonderful Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was released on Netflix. What was it, about 2 years ago? Something like that, around Halloween. Starring Antony Starr. Don't get that confused with Anthony, who's in The Boys. Solid actor. He was also in The Covenant, right? He had a sort of a small part in that, but he's a really exceptional actor. I think whenever I see him, I always dig his work. Lizzy Caplan is the lead. They play parents of the lead boy named Woody Norman. Don't know him from anything else. A few other people fall down the line of characters. I don't think they're really worth mentioning because I don't know if anyone knows who they are. I'm looking them up. Luke Busey plays the bully named Brian. I'm wondering if Luke Busey is Jake Busey's son. That would put him as Gary Busey's grandson. They really, really look alike. But it doesn't say anywhere online, or I haven't really dug too deep. Anyways, I digress. Back to this little gem here, Cobweb.
I was scrolling through under the horror genre on my completely legal platform to watch videos of all types. That's not illegal to have at all.
Right.
So I was scrolling through genre, and I saw Cobweb or Cobweb. I can't remember.
It's no S. Yeah.
And it had like a 6 something, which again, horror always gets I don't know why. If you look at horror, so I told you like on the IMDb, which is still fairly accurate.
Yes.
6.5 to 7.1 is like worth your time. This one had a 6 something, but horror is always a full point below. I don't know why. Horror is always a full point below. So I had like a 6, 3, 4. I was like, all right, I looked at the picture, and then I was like, why not? Yeah. So, because I like horror. I just want good horror. And so that's how I picked it out.
Okay.
And it actually shows objectivity because I didn't know about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre until after I watched it. Because that writer, I actually listened to her old podcast and I shit all over him.
Yeah. Okay. It took me a few goes to get through this. I think I watched it probably in increments of 35, 40 minutes, which put me right there. The style was cool. The filming was nice. Cool shots. It was just weird from the get-go. The whole house, like why the fuck are they in this old house? It looks like it's the 70s. There's no TV. I don't get it. Obviously, the lead actors, the parents are acting strange. It was just a big letdown at the end with the reveal of the monster, his sister that he's been talking to, and just the culmination of the whole story didn't make sense to me. You know, it left me pretty disappointed in the whole thing. It was just pretty cliche, if you will. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and like the sister, how does she get shark teeth and she has supernatural powers? They never explain that. You know what I mean? It's just it just seemed a little lazy in the end. She looked like Venom or something. Yeah. I don't know. And why, like the parents, they're trying to protect him and they lock him in the basement where his sister's possibly down there. I think it could have been really amazing because the two lead actors who are the parents were doing really, really well at building that kind of slow, creepy tension at what is going on here. But the whole reveal about the sister was just a complete letdown. And it was just disappointing. It seemed lazy to me.
It is this big build-up. It's like, imagine like you make I don't know. It's hard to make friends in your adult life. Make a new friend, lots of same interests, lots of things, getting along, good stuff, hanging out a lot. And then they say something like, hey, I think Interstellar is a great movie. And then the entire friendship is just shot because they let you down because they don't have any good taste in movies, right?
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with this. Sorry. I just had to mention that. I mean, you'll agree probably. Strong start. Yeah. Decent into the middle. Right at the middle, like, what the fuck happened, guys? What did you do? And you took my word. Lazy. Yeah. You got lazy. I don't know. You got lazy. You had everything. You had the formula. You had great actors. I wanted to know, who is she? What is she? Like, how? Yeah, there was so much there was so many ways they could have gone, and they went the worst. There was like plan A, B, C, and then X, and then went plan X.
Yeah, and there's so much that's unexplained throughout the movie. Like, why do they live in this house like this? And did they ever mention what the skull in the backyard was that he dug up? Like, who that was, what it was, how it got there?
I had to meditate, if you will, on this. We always give away movie stuff, so I don't care. If you're watching our thing, whatever. Spoiler alerts. Yeah, that I started putting stuff together. You have to, think about it in hindsight, or probably watch the second time, but I started just thinking, and I'm like, okay, that was true. A girl came on Halloween. That's the girl that was missing. The girl came to their house trick-or-treating. They opened the door. That girl saw the mutated sister, and so they had to kill her so she wouldn't tell anyone. So they took her, killed her, buried her in the backyard. That's how the girl went missing. That's why the mom got so like emotional when they talked about it.
Okay.
Right?
Well, thanks for clearing that up for me.
And then they use it as a convenient boogeyman for the kid. But here's the thing. See, even that, not bad. They could have gone with that, right? There was better ways to present it so people could remember that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, because even I forgot. I'm like, wait, so who was missing? Why are they telling it? I'm like, oh. Because she says that. She's like, somebody came to the door. She does tell a story, but there's so much going on. You have a hard time putting it together.
Yeah.
You forget.
Yeah. The way you kind of try to guess any plot line, how it's going to play out when a movie like this is halfway through, you're watching it, if you're sort of into it. I thought the kid was going to be evil in some way, because he pushed the bully down the stairs. Why did they even show that scene? The parents seem really kind of weird around him. Like maybe they're actually terrified of him. And why is he locked in this fucking just room with a ball and zero entertainment of any sort? I don't know. It was just bizarre. But again, back to my point I made just a second ago. It just left so many unanswered points. It just kind of did stuff because maybe it looked cool or the setting was nice, or I have no idea, man. It was fucking weird. But decent start, weak finish. I hate the fucking monster shit. It's old, and it didn't even look good. It was like bad CGI in my opinion.
You're the comment section incarnate. I'll summarize comment section, which like 65% or so probably said this, which I was surprised by. I guess I missed it. They said she has like some psychic ability, and that's the reason he was so willing to like kill his parents and whatnot, was she was getting influence over him. Comment section said, oh, psychic spider sister, silly. It was great until you revealed her face, horrible CGI, terrible wrap up. Not like Smile, that was great until the last 7 minutes. This one was great to like the halfway point. But here's the thing. If you could make the first part as good as the second part, or even just a little less, it would have been a freaking great movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. The sister could have been on his side and killed his evildoers and then befriended him. They went with her wanting to kill him, which was dumb. Why? Because you feel bad if the parents left her in a freaking pit.
I know.
For years, I guess, and then they put her in the wall. Like, she had every right to kill the freaking crazy parents. Let's do the rewrite. The rewrite is exactly what she said. You can even make her sweet and precocious. She didn't have to be old or whatever, like, scary looking. He lets her out. But he lets her out right when he's getting attacked by those bullies. The bullies, she slowly chips away at them, and then there's one bully left that somehow gets her cornered or gets her trapped. Who knows what gets her weakness, fire, something like that. And the boy saves her. And then he loves her despite the fact that she's just kind of scary thing. And they live together in this house, and he takes care of her, makes up for the lost time she never had. There's a million ways you can do this, man. Like the mom had a rare genetic disease, or you put some backstory and they thought it was out of them, but then this kid came out and they're like, oh, the curse of our family is not out of me. We have to get rid of this girl. An explanation of why that happened.
Yeah, what was, did you read the budget of this? No, 13 million, made 10. I don't even remember this coming out. When it came out not opposite. It was in theaters when Oppenheimer and Barbie were there. So this is like a summertime release last summer? That's weird.
People that liked it said it wasn't fair. I guess I got an unfair limited release. Like I watched the interview with the writer for 2 seconds as much as I could stomach him because he looked exactly like I thought he would. LA type. He apparently was this script reader for like a decade or something. And then he had, actually I think it was this film that was on the blacklist of screenwriting. So I actually want to kind of read the screenplay now and see if the director screwed it up to defend him. And clearly I'm not a fan of him because his work on Texas Chainsaw was abysmal at best.
The opening scene, I guess it does a nice job of building subtle tension. So yeah, again, potential was there, but it just wasn't met. That monster at the end was weak.
Even the last shot. So he stays in the house and presumably the teacher adopts him and she gets out and then captures him. Like what? Well, that's your last shot?
I don't know. Let's wrap this up, man. They gotta get onto something else, clearly. I'd love to see good horror, though. Yeah, it's a rare thing. I don't know if there's anything coming out that looks halfway interesting. Yeah, remind me, what is that blacklist from? What's the nature of it? Do you know?
There's actually 2, so it's funny because people get this screwed up a lot. There was something, years, decades, I don't know how long ago, but producers would be like, man, if Hollywood weren't Hollywood, I wish I could make this, movie. And it started becoming like a circulated email list. Like, people in the industry. It'd be like, it started becoming a list, and then it started becoming a little more official. And then the top producers, top studios, whatever, would actually share it sometimes and say, sure wish we could make this, but no way, right? Now, what sucks is there's a blacklisted screenwriting website, and that's by some dude that claims to have that list or does some liberties and calls that the blacklist. So most people that would look it up, normally would see that one. That's not the blacklist is a secret list that people share internally in the industry.
All right. Yeah, that was that. Let's move on. What do you say? Any other points you want to make?
No, it's actually funny you asked me this. Do you have any real positives?
Just the style, man. Cinematography was good. I think the setting, whoever did the set design, the director obviously knew what he was doing there. Some cool shots. Actors were good. It's just unfortunate when you see performances that could be plugged into a much, much better situation. But that happens all the time, right? I think the actors did everything they possibly could to work with what they had. I didn't see really any weak performance, from my opinion. The school scenes are always enjoyable like that. I don't know, kind of the vibe there of the outsider kid getting bullied, and I thought that was well done. And like the unruly students who really have no brain and they just pick on the kid because he's a little different or whatever. Yeah, those would be my positives, man. But the story just fell flat. I'm going to go 1 on this for meh. I feel like it maybe deserves a little bit more just for the reasons I just said, the performances, all the aesthetics that were well done, the shooting. I mean, the directing was fine. Story just ruins it. I mean, if you don't have a good story, the movie's just not good, right? And this had all the potential in the world, but didn't live up to it. So I'll stick with that. So I would just say watch it if it's free, if you're bored, if you have nothing else to do. How about you?
I'm going with 1. Meh.
The next movie we're going to do called Strange Darling. Hopefully you catch us in a theater. I really can't wait to hear what you think about it. If not, again, go in blind. Don't read a thing. Avoid the internet, all that shit. And the phones are listening. The computers are. So stuff is probably going to pop up for you in suggestions. Do not click on a fucking thing, please.
I will throw this in because I think it's worth mentioning. The executive producer of many, there's 3, I think, was Seth Rogen, which is probably how Tony or Antony Starr got on it, because he also executive produced.
Oh, right, yeah. I did notice that. Mm-hmm. Evan Goldberg, too, like his business partner.
Yeah, the show is now turned into, irredeemably, but like people are just showing up and writing and then leaving the next day and they never come back. It's bad.
The Boys?
Yeah.
That sucks, man. It's a shame because I feel like with a situation like that, they just focus so much and they put so much effort into having really special creativity and fleshing out these characters in these shows. And once they had the audience, they almost just say, fuck you. I mean, I'm in the middle of watching Game of Thrones. I've heard that the last season, the last few episodes really left a lot of faithful fans very disappointed, which sucks. You invest a lot of your time and emotion in this entertainment. And then again, I think the producers, whoever calls the shots, are just like, yeah, fuck you guys. We're good. We got you. Yeah, now we'll turn on to other work.
Game of Thrones, I've watched the entire series 5 times, maybe 6. The last season is absolute irredeemable dog shit. Irredeemable,
good to know. I'm looking forward to it.
No, but I'm glad you said it. It's actually what you're saying is you hit spot on. Like, it's exactly The Boys. Like, you're so invested, even you're like, remember the whole Pirates Caribbean thing from Asking Ninja?
Yeah.
And then this guy shows up and he's a pirate, and this person's a superhero, and it was all a dream.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's more on the writer's side and them demanding too much and not meeting their demands because the show has built a certain audience and a certain bit of popularity that they know they can ask for more, but the studios are just cheap? And it's so bizarre to me how this goes down just repetitively in so many situations.
I mean, it's the business of movie making.